excited about this all week. So I want to also thank all of the hosts in the area here that were willing to come and share their experiences today also. They all have such exciting stories to tell, and I'm really happy that they're willing to share that with everyone here. So what I was going to do first is have everyone go around and just say your name, maybe say where you're from, and the airman also, in addition, if you want to say where you work on the base, that would be great.
My name is Lori Reed. I'm originally from Canada, and we live here in Cheyenne.
And I'm Dale Reed, and we're a host family, and same story, sir.
I'm Gwendolyn Meyer. I'm active duty on the base in security forces. I'm originally from Indiana.
I'm Demetrius Zamora. I'm active duty on the base as well with security forces, and I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I'm Melissa Amick. My husband and I are a host family, and we're originally from Indiana.
My name is Devontae Brown. I'm a medic, and I'm active duty base as well.
My name is Bryson Stride. I'm originally from Hawaii, and I'm in 90th OS.
I am Vicki Fry. I am from Rollins, Wyoming, so I came very far to Cheyenne. And I work at Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, and my husband and I are host families. My husband is from Virginia.
I'm Ron Van Vos. Great to be back at MAC. This is my first meeting in about 7 months. I've been very active in this organization over the years. But I'm originally from Montana. My wife is from western Nebraska. And we've enjoyed this hosting Young Airmen this year. And we've lived in Cheyenne for 16 years, 17 years. We think this is a great program.
Well, thank you. We'll start out with a question about, if any of you can speak. What have you enjoyed most about the program? And actually, I should say something really quickly. So Ron and Bryson are matched. You want to raise your hand again. And Vicki and Demetrius. And look at you two sat right next to each other, Devontae and Melissa. And the Reeds are matched with Gwendolyn. So, what have you enjoyed the most about the program?
So what I've enjoyed most about the program that I got exactly what I asked for on the sheet. It's a perfect match, and that they understand my humor as well. It's pretty great to have a family outside family, somebody I can rely on and just talk to about anything that's happening, about career-wise, and also about my life after career, and especially what she did to my heart, my daughter, and they get to understand that as well. So I enjoy it a lot. I'm glad I did that as others.
Lennox?
I'd say for me personally, it was the freedom of the program, that there's no obligation to join, there's no set parameters for what you should do and what you shouldn't do. It's just however you want it. And if your family wants them to be involved with certain things in their lives, or if you want them to be involved with certain things in their lives, just the aspect of being able to do whatever you guys feel like doing.
I think I enjoy most about the program is the flexibility. Security forces, it's a weird schedule, so not having to have set times as to when you have to do something allows much more freedom, much more things you can do at any time, and with their schedule is very flexible as well, so it works out.
And I would say, to add on to that, it's a good work balance, going from work to having somebody to hang out with or a family. So it's a great opportunity for everyone if they become stressed or they want somebody to talk to. It's a good balance to balance it out.
I'm going to, because my wife doesn't necessarily like talking into these things, I'm just going to say that from a perspective of a person who's not originally from Cheyenne and had the previous military experience, what I really liked about it is I now have an excuse why I need to go around Wyoming and look at stuff. Because then I can drag her along with us, and my wife thinks this is a great idea, so let's go together and we'll do that. And we've been able to explore not too far yet, but we're working our way out, and it's been incredible. I mean, Gwen's not had a lot of experience with the West before, so a lot of things are new. Lori and I have had a lot of experiences, but Wyoming is new-ish, and we really enjoy it here, so we've been able to show her things we know, but we've also been able to try things independently, like, or as a group that we've never done before.
I would say, as a whole, it's actually been probably more beneficial to my family than maybe it's because we make a point to do things and schedule things out and make a point to do things as a family and have Devontae there. We also sponsor another, or well, I shouldn't say sponsor, but we are host to another Airman. So we made more of a point to have family game night on Friday nights or have Sunday breakfast as a family. So it's kind of brought us closer together as well. So I'm great.
What are some things that you've enjoyed doing together?
Alright, I guess I'll go here first. I'll enjoy, like she said, like the family game nights. I definitely enjoy that. I win. I win, and I also enjoy doing like martial arts. It's a hobby of mine back home, and I recently got back into it. So it's like I enjoy that as well. It's just like hanging out and just talking. We don't necessarily have to do anything. Just like hanging out and talking, having conversation, just about life. And I really enjoy being able to communicate with someone else about life experiences.
And I have to brag on Devontae, but he got his yellow belt this week, so it's pretty awesome.
I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they really enjoy hearing about Demetrius' job and the things he does for the military. Before, we would see helicopters fly over our house, and the 3-year-old would be like, "Oh no, bad guys are coming." And we're like, "No, bad guys." But now, if a helicopter flies over, everyone's like, "I see Demetrius." We're like, "No, I see Demetrius." We saw a military convoy last week, and the kids were so excited. Because they're like, "I wonder if Demetrius is on there. I bet he's on there." It's really fun.
We've been really blessed with Gwen. She's adventurous, and we like adventures. So one of the things she said when we first met her is, "I like to go snowboarding." So we have passes at Snowy Range, and we took her. We still have to go back because we got cut off at I-80 on one of them, but her boyfriend Jack also went, and he's from California. He's surfed, but he's never been on a snowboard. Well, he got a lesson and enjoyed it so much, he's been nagging her about, "When are we going back? When are we going back? I think I better go buy gear." And I'm like, "Hold it, dude, first time, like, we're not going to wait on that." But yes, we've been able to enjoy those kind of things.
This program has definitely allowed me to do a lot of things for the first time. This family has brought me in and shown me things that I've never been around, and I've never done. Snowboarding, it was okay. It was my first time, and I was sore. I was very sore afterwards, but it was a great time. Lots of smiles, lots of laughs. So it was a happy day overall, as well as the other days that I had with them. So.
This program has definitely led me to have the relationship with her kids as I do with my brothers. I have 2 younger brothers, so it kind of brings that bond back. It's like a home away from home, kind of. So it's a great opportunity for airmen if they have families back home that they miss a lot to be able to join the family here and get that experience and go adventure. So it's great.
I'll say for me, just being able to spend time with them and, get outside of the dorm, being home all day, especially on the weekends, and, being in a new environment, in a new place, not knowing anybody here. But that's one thing I think the program is really good, because you meet people who, are involved in the community, so they introduce you to more people, and kind of you spread, and you meet people, and you make new connections, and you find more things to do. And just with us, they've kind of evolved with their lives. We went to Scottsbluff, Nebraska. That's where Lavelle, she went to school there, and she grew up there. So it was definitely a great experience to see, their hometown, where they're from, and for them to be involved in that was really grateful. And just things like that, things that you can't really experience day to day. Just, and that's kind of what the program is giving to us, so.
I think we knew that Bryson was from Hawaii. Hadn't met him yet. He came to the door. We had a meal one evening, and he's actually embraced the Western culture here in Cheyenne quite well. He had a new pair of boots on. He had jeans and a Western shirt, and even showed up a couple times later with a felt hat. So he's actually volunteered. He's volunteered last summer for CFD, so we're looking forward to getting him involved this year a little bit more. We're going to take him to the Crisis Fund, which is coming up at the end of the month, and that's a good experience for anyone, and I know that Bryson will enjoy that. Hope to get him on horseback one of these days. Got him maybe a little bit of experience with the horses. We have a couple of saddle horses. He went to church with us one day, or one Sunday, and came out and watched a football game. I'm a Husker fan as well as a Cowboy fan. Unfortunately, Huskers didn't have a great year, but we'll get, this year will be better. So we'll look forward to that. It's a great opportunity for Bryson just to kind of get away from the door a little bit and have some great experiences. So we did share some gifts around Christmas time. Bryson went home for Thanksgiving and came back and brought some items from Hawaii, which were certainly enjoyed. And we were able to give Bryson and CFD belt buckle for his some clothes. So we know that'll be something that he'll enjoy for a long time. We're hoping that he's going to bring back some menus from his mother of some of his favorite foods. My wife would all enjoys cooking. So we're still waiting for that, Bryson. So we just want to make it a great experience for him.
What hesitancies did any of you have prior to joining the program?
I'm going to bring it up. I've been my biggest concern out of all of this was I thought I was too old. They're looking for parents, and I felt like a grandparent. And my wife doesn't appreciate that when I say that publicly. So my biggest concern was that, we might be irrelevant. I've got a 35-year-old son. I feel irrelevant when I talk to him anyway, but then talking to a 19-year-old, I thought, maybe, but it turns out that second generation jump apparently is a lot easier than the first generation. There was that, and I was concerned about our schedule, not from her perspective, but from mine, because I'm anything but scheduled. When I'm here, I work, and when I'm on the road, I'm not here. And I didn't know how that would work out. And only to hear from Gwen that her concern was that she was security forces and she had a weird shift, and how would that work out? And I would say to anybody who's considering it, that just throw any preconceptions away, because we're humans and we work it out. And in our case, we've been able to work it out. So those are my two biggest fears, concerns, worries.
So I guess that was one of my worries as well. Going into a new family's life that I've never met before. I don't know how old they are. I don't know if we're gonna, share the same interests. I got there and then I figured out, my parents are around the same age as them, so I can relate. I definitely have those, they keep me in line, just like my other parents. But it's different. We get along great. We share so many common interests. So I think that application, it really worked out.
I would go along with that. The schedule is definitely something that I was fearing at first. I've been able to work that out with my family that I've joined with, but just having that bond, you guys end up making it work out to find time out of your schedule to plan something. Just going to dinner, or just having a little get together for football on Sunday or something like that. It just, you find the time for it.
I would say, in our family's case, it's schedule, very busy with work and then activities outside of the home. So making sure that we have, we're available in the first place when, Devontae or Tony calls, and being able to have time to have them at home or go do things with them. It's worked out great with Devontae because he does taekwondo with the girls. Another big concern for us would probably be sense of humor because it's matched up very well here. But other people might be a little scared, so. So, there's always those concerns that, are we all gonna get along, and so it's been a very great experience for all of us.
My biggest hesitancy was again the sense of humor. It's like once I opened up, it's a different sense of humor. She said it could pretty match on. That was really good. And it also wasn't really scheduled. I'm lazy, so when I get off, I go home, and I don't like to leave my house, but they make sure I leave and go. They make sure I leave and come over. That was my biggest thing, being lazy and then my sense of humor. Other than that, I was like, I'm just gonna hop in here and do it, spread my comfort zone, and I'm in the blessings.
I think for me, it was kind of the same as what I said, especially with when I do have the time off and weekends and weeknights I have to work, if I, would have the motivation really, the willingness to get up and go out and do stuff. I think that was one thing I was kind of worried about, but I think, like you said, my family as well, they do a good job of keeping in touch and really trying to plan things and it not just be, and it'll be both sides. I'll suggest something or they'll suggest something, and then also, if we would match well, finding out the interests and hobbies if they were going to click well and stuff. And I think it has. I think the application with the way you guys match up people is definitely.
Yeah, when I applied to be a part of this program and brought it to my husband, I was going through cancer treatment, and my husband was like, why do you want to do this? When you're going through cancer treatment, we both work. We have 2 little children and 2 big dogs, and nothing is relaxing in our house. I was like, we might like our house. And it seems like Demetrius really does like coming over and getting knocked over by big dogs and playing with kids and wrestling with them. So it's been very easy, very natural.
I think one of our concerns was, we got a young person, we haven't had kids in the house for 15 years, other than grandchildren. I was kind of concerned, Bryson might think this is kind of a boring family, nothing to do. But, we know that we can get him involved in some things. We like to fly fish. And tie flies, I'm involved with an organization that does fly rods with veterans and ties flies. We'll get Bryson involved in that a little bit, but I'm anxious to get him up on the Platte River and do a little fly fishing. And he's going to enjoy that, I know. And just a lot of great things. We'll get involved in Frontier Days. And he's already embraced that. I think that's one of the keys. I know when I was involved in DAC, one of our concerns was that Airman company get kind of bored. There's nothing for them to do in Cheyenne. And we know that's not the case, but it's a matter of there's an opportunity to get these young folks involved and some things that they probably wouldn't get involved in. And our objective is to make sure that he has a great experience. He can take that back to his dorm, have a little different relaxation in a home situation. And we've hosted the commander of the USS Cheyenne and his family in the past. We've hosted some CFD Queens, visiting Queens. We've hosted upper people, a couple of students there. That's kind of a different experience because that might be for 2 or 3 days at a time. So we're a little concerned about maybe adopt an airman. What does that really mean? But don't be concerned about that. I think the idea of honor a hero is really a great name. I like that idea of the change. That's a deal that it's kind of it's going to be a real relaxed experience, but mostly we want Bryson to enjoy his time here in Cheyenne and something that he will remember hopefully for the rest of his life really.
So you kind of led us very well into our next question, and that is, what would you tell anyone who is considering the program, whether as an airman or as a host family, and you can speak for one another too, what would you tell them?
Personally, I've had multiple people come up to me about the program because they've seen my videos, they've seen the advertisement for it, and they've asked me how I've liked it, and I totally recommend this program. Every time they ask me, I say, if you're looking for something to do if you're looking to stay out of trouble. Don't stay in the dorms, go and get a host family, and they'll show you around Cheyenne, and they will do things with you that you haven't experienced before. So I 100% recommend it.
And joining this program allows you to explore things that might bring back memories from what you used to do back home. Just being here in Cheyenne, you don't really get to see what all of Wyoming has to offer, as well as Colorado. So joining this program, you really get to get that experience and then have that family bondship that a lot of people are missing. And it allows airmen to get out of the dorms and actually do stuff other than just kind of sitting around. So it's a great opportunity.
I think from a host standpoint, you know, I think there was concern of, well, what if we get somebody that, you know, we don't get along with or something like that. Carolyn and team do a really thorough job of helping match people and making sure that she interviews and gets to know you as a host and the airman and make that match. And they put a lot of effort into it, so I don't think you would ever be disappointed either way. You find ways to make it work, and it's just a wonderful experience.
And Melissa actually just brought up a great point. So we have an amazing team, and we all work together in doing the matches. In fact, who here is on your team? Jim Wood is here, Abby Williams is here. Who else? Who am I missing? And Amanda. How can I miss Amanda? Amanda McAllister has been a huge part of our committee. And we match based on the written application, and then we interview over the phone. And Laurel Walter and Christy Furtick are also host families. They're here with us today too. Oh, Michelle Bachel, she's on our committee too. So we all work together. We lay out all the applications and the interview information, and that is how we make the match. The other thing that we tell everyone too is that, you know, we're making the matches based on one phone conversation and one written piece of paper. So if at any point they feel uncomfortable, we want to know about it right away. But also, if they feel like after getting together a couple of times that they really don't click, we also invite them to let us know too. Perhaps the airman wants to get together more often than the family's able to, or perhaps the interest really didn't match quite as well. So we have rematched several airmen, and it's been no problem at all. So, did you share something?
What I wanted to share was the reward that you get. Not only are you giving to these airmen, but you're receiving from them as well. And I've really felt very blessed by having Gwen in our lives. And like, she's my daughter. When people ask, I say, this is my daughter, Gwen. I don't go into the whole airman thing. I mean, they know about it. But it is very rewarding to be able to give to her, but she gives to me as well. And I think if anybody is considering it, to understand that it helps in this generation. They need it. They really do. They need somebody that's going to show them what it's like to have a stable family and to have a stable environment. They need that.
I'd say, all right, I mean, I mentioned earlier, like, there's no obligation. I think that's one thing that, you know, you rarely consider. They're kind of on the fence and they're worried about, you know, what if they want to do something that I don't want to do that. You know, there's no pressure for you to have to be completely involved, you know, in their lives entirely and do everything that they want to do, and vice versa for the families as well. And then how you touched about you rematch with people. Me personally, I got a match with the family, but I ended up not working out with them, and I was okay with that. You know, I didn't. They only reached out to me once, and then Carolyn reached out and said that we were going to match with another family, and I felt like it was it ended up being a blessing in disguise because I feel like it was a perfect match with the Valley and the best for everyone's family. So I think it ended up working out in the end, and just for airmen to just to feel like there's no pressure and to, you know, get out of their comfort zone and to try new things and to experience new adventures and new opportunities.
Are there any things that you would like to share that you've learned by being involved in the program? Maybe host families, what might have you learned about the life of an airman or airmen? What have you learned about kind of the Western culture or being in a capital city, but that's also a very small city?
Being from a bigger city, definitely coming here to Cheyenne, I didn't think people would be as friendly as they are here. So joining this program really opened up my eyes, and people have been very open as to relationships and just being friendly and offering the opportunities that they have. So it's definitely a great opportunity. There's nothing to be scared of. Nobody's gonna shoo you away or anything. It's a great opportunity for anybody that's wanting to join us.
I've learned all about the opportunities available for Demetrius in the military. I think it's really neat, all the opportunities that he has to choose from. And then I've also learned about how cold the security forces get. These cold winter days, I really worry about him when it's 0 degrees. I'm like, oh man, I'll be staying warm.
You know, my family is a 5-generation military family, and all the way back to the Civil War days. And I've got 2 stepsons that were in the Air Force. One is still, has 20 years, is still active. My son was in the Navy, and of course I spent time in the Army. So we have a good background of the military, but it's still a great experience knowing what these young people are experiencing in today's military, because things are changing. I mean, Bryce and companies get that cell phone, which the smartphone is something we never had. We used telephone, the old landlines, and we're out in employment, whatever. But so, it's a different life for them, and they have a lot of different experiences, and they're traveling around, and they're tight. In Bryce's situation, coming from Hawaii, you can't just go home on a weekend and maybe an extended vacation very easily. So it's great to be able to give them that kind of experience. And then again, it's a cross-cultural experience. So we can learn a lot from them, and not only from their experiences in the military, but also the cultural experiences of just what a young person is experiencing today. And it's just great to know that you have young people that are willing to put their time in and join the military and really support their country, because that's very important to us.
I think I learn things, new things every day from them. They own a business where they work on engines, so I learn about those. They were actually in the Canadian Air Force, so I learned about their experiences with that as well, and how life is over there, because it's different from over here. I've learned how expensive it is to live over there. Their taxes, that's insane. I think the lessons that I've learned from them, not even so much, about the engines or the military that they've been in. It's just the things that they've dealt with in the past that has helped me cope with things now that I'm going through. And that's what's most important to me about it.
So the things that I've learned, because of the application I put, I want to learn how to be a great father to my daughter. And that's one thing that they both have taught me, how to raise a little girl. And it's funny seeing their kids growing. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for my daughter to be able to reach that age so I can see how she turns out. The youngest one is Tori. Yes, she's hilarious. I love her. I love her. She's outgoing, she's hilarious. She's like, it is so funny. So it's like seeing that. It's like, man, I can't believe my daughter at that age, so I can do that. Hey, Dad, and stuff like that. So it's a great experience. You might as well don't be hesitant, because I was very hesitant at first. I was like, no, I'm just leave out there and expanding my horizon.
So last evening, I had the privilege of doing some follow-up interviews for some airmen who applied to the program. And they shared some of the same things you all have been sharing. A number of them were like, I miss my younger brothers and sisters. So that's one of the reasons why they were interested in joining the program. And one young gal I was talking to said she really missed her pets. And can't have pets in the dorm. She does have some fish, but that's not quite the same. They don't really play, and you can't really pet them. So that was one of the things. But One common theme in the different conversations I've had with both airmen and with host families is, life is about relationships. And life is so much richer when you have relationships. And I know my husband and I were active duty for 23 years, and when we look back, it's really the times we spent getting to know other people, the times we spent with people that we really treasure the most. So it is our hope that, who was it? Was it one of you that I was talking with during one of the interviews who said that, boy, it'd be great to, no, I think it was a Quill, actually, who was matched with Christy Furtick, said, in 10 years, you're really going to have to do a reunion for all of the airmen that have been matched, because it'd be really fun to get them all back, wherever they are, all over the Air Force, and talk about the impact it's had and just the continued relationships. So we'd like to open this up to any questions that you all might have for the host families or for the airmen. And I can bring a microphone to you.
Carolyn, how do we deal with transportation?
So that's a very good question. So some airmen have cars. For airmen that don't have cars, the host families all go through security clearance to be able to be on the base to come pick up their airmen. So they can go drive on the base and pick their airmen up also. And then we have some airmen like Gwendolyn, for example. She has a boyfriend. So sometimes there are airmen that are matched up that will bring a friend with them. That's a good question. Yes?
Being next to Air Force and security forces, do you feel that this has helped with the rising rate of depression while in the military, as far as having someplace else to go and having another resource to be able to talk to? And touching on that, do the host families get any training in suicide prevention and problems that everyone might have?
Those are good questions. Does anyone want to answer that?
I believe that it does help. So with being with them, being outside of my dorm, not cooped up all day, and having someone to talk to other than someone who's in the military, because I know we have those people like a chaplain or your first sergeant. I think it's more comfortable to be in someone's home and, just sitting on a couch and talking if you have someone, or if you have something to say about a certain situation rather than, in front of a desk. It's more comforting. That's definitely true.
And to go off of that, I would say it's a good thing to go from talking from like a military individual to a civilian, because they relate on different levels, and when you're not always around military people and just built up like in that group, it gives yourself time to reflect on what you're going through at the time, and just gives time to kind of recuperate and build back up for Marine work.
Your comment about the suicide prevention and stuff, I don't know that there's been a long enough run yet to have any data to support it. But one of the drivers for this, for me, was when I was in barracks, there were 4 guys, and they committed suicide. And I can't help but think that with these guys having people to talk to, I know it was a driver for me, right? Someone mentioned that they're having a problem in the military with issues of suicide and depression and all these things. And back, I'm talking the early 80s, people were not going home, or they were taking their own lives. And it's got to help. And are the people that really need to help volunteer to do it? I don't know. But Gwen volunteered, and since she's volunteered, we've got Jack, we've got other people that have showed up on occasion, because we're open. It's no different than when we were in the military and everybody's either working or you're not going home, and you have Thanksgiving and there's 20 pairs of shoes at the front door, right? Same deal. So we offer that as a family, and in hopes that it reduces it.
Justin?
As I've learned about this program, I was curious, and then Ron actually answered the question up there, but for the other host families, have you had any other experience hosting like an exchange student or
For my husband and I, we have always had somebody in our home. From the time that we've gotten married, if there's been, we've had, from the beginning, even my son's daycare, the woman that was running the daycare, she was without housing for a while, and she lived with us, and we had various students come and live with us. It's something that, when I was in the military, my first husband was in the Navy, and he left right after, 4 days after my son was born. And I didn't have any family close by, and I thought I was gonna go cuckoo. And I was very fortunate that in like this program, there were several, some were civilians and some were not, came alongside and just came right in and helped me to, first-time mother, helped me to cope with not having family around on the weekends. And so that's one of the things that Dale and I wanted to do from the beginning, is always pay it forward. And so, yes, for us, we have done that all the way along. And when this program was first announced over a year ago, I ran up to the front and said, yeah, sign me up, because we know the value for our lives, and so we want to pass it on to others.
This is a first for our family. And it has a lot to do with our lifestyle and how much we've moved and those things. And we were constantly on the go for so many years. And we finally, this is the longest that we've ever lived in a single house. And so we've been back in Cheyenne this is our third time in Cheyenne. So we've been back for 5.5 years this time. And finally being at a point in our lives that we could open our doors and share our experiences. When we first moved to Cheyenne, I can tell you, I hate this place. I'm sorry. But now, 12 years later, I don't want to live anywhere else. And I want Devontae or anybody that comes to Cheyenne to understand that it's what you make it, and I had to learn that. And there are a lot of amazing things here, but you do kind of have to chase them sometimes. So being able to share that with somebody who may feel out of place or just not know where to look, wanting to be there for them for that.
No, we hadn't done any formal hosting. We've done a lot of volunteering in Cheyenne. A couple summers ago, we had a friend's teenagers come stay with us for a couple weeks. And at first we're like, what are we gonna do with a bunch of teenage boys? And my husband tried like taking them hiking to tire them out, and that just made them more energetic. So we learned that lesson, and we learned that they eat a lot, but that was really fun. And after that, we talked about, well, maybe we do a high school exchange student someday. So we kind of opened the door for us.
We talked about a few experiences that we've had, but one I think that really hits home that this program has some similarities with. So my son was in college in Bozeman, Montana State University. He got involved with the Big Brothers, Little Brothers program, and it was a single mother who had a young son who was like 5, I think, back then. Well, we were at my son's home over in Utah for Christmas, and that young man who's graduated from college and has gone on to be an engineer, came to my son's house for Christmas. And, you know, that's a lifetime experience that they've had. And I think this program has some similarities. I know it's one amazing thing about Facebook is we keep track of a couple of the queens, visiting queens that we had. It's just kind of fun to know what they're doing. We're able to keep track of the, you know, on occasions, some Facebook posts on the commander of the USS Cheyenne. He happens to be over in Norway currently. But, you know, those are the kind of things that are just really fun. And we hope that we can continue that kind of an extension of this program with Bryson and maybe in the future years with additional airmen that we might get involved with. So I think it can be what you make out of it, but it can be a great experience.
I heard a rumor that something big happened to Bryson when he went home for the holidays. Is that true?
Oh, I got engaged with most of my girlfriends.
So actually, Laurel, thank you for sharing that, because this is something that I wanted to share with all of you too. When we initially started the program, we had kind of thought that it would be for single airmen just living in the dorms. But it is for actually everyone that's in their first enlistment. So the first-term airmen, so it could be up to 6 years, somebody who's been active duty. But we also match airmen that are married. If you can imagine, being, 18 or 19 years old, moving across country and being newlywed, that's a lot of transitions at once. So we have also found that the program has been very supportive to the spouses of active duty first-term airmen too. So that is one big way that our program has grown and has been continued to be rewarding. Does anybody else have a question?
Joe, I have one more comment.
Yes.
It's not fair. Well, it's over Thanksgiving, we're shoveling snow out in the driveway, and Bryson sends us pictures on the beach in Hawaii. That's just not fair. But someday we hope that we can do this thing.
And talk about meeting families. I know many of you know Scott Fox. He went to the Air Force Academy, and this program is modeled after the Air Force Academy's cadet sponsorship program. He was there both as a cadet, so he was in a program like this when he was a cadet, and then years later he had the opportunity to go back to be stationed there, and he signed up to be a sponsor family. And several months ago, I think it was in the fall, he told me about this amazing experience he had going back to Texas and getting together with now more senior officers in the Air Force that he had once sponsored when he was active duty down at the Air Force Academy. And he also talks about his experience as a cadet and how that has built lifelong experiences or relationships too. So we do hope that, years to come, the relationships will still be growing strong. And you all said.
Well, thanks again to all of you for helping share your experiences, because I think it's important. One of the comments that came up, the misconceptions of what's expected out of being a part of this program. We kind of laugh about it and we joke, Adopt an Airman sounded a little too engaging, so looked at changing it to hosting heroes, mainly because you do get to give them back. They don't stay with you every single night, and vice versa. Airmen get to give them back. They don't have to stay with them all the time. And I think trying to demystify some of that and help solve some of that is really important. So thank you again for taking the time out of your day to help share your experiences. And I hope that everybody in here today will share that information with others out there who talk about this program, because it's just getting started. And we want to continue to expand this program, and we need volunteers to make that happen. So I hope that everybody will take that information that you've learned today and share it with others out there. Thank you again.